morning. It is Monday, November 18th, and we have a great show here for you. The news headlines, the weather report, and today in history. This morning, learn about the YMCA's youth basketball program, and Marie Oliver, President and CEO for Cape Cod Canal Regional Chamber of Commerce, is in the studio to talk about the business community around Cape Cod region. But first, I would like to take this moment to thank Not Your Average Antiques, an antique shop down Cranberry Highway in East Wareham, for donating the props that you see in the morning show. So stay tuned because the news headlines and the weather report are next. Sad news this morning. Our dear neighbor from Mariachi was struck by a car while he was trying to help a family who had broken down in the middle lane. So the news report reads as following. The manager of the local restaurant Air Mariachi was struck and killed on Interstate 495 in Wareham early Friday morning after he pulled over to help a family stuck on the highway, according to the police report. 37-year-old Taunton resident Luis Contreras was referred to in the state police report as a good Samaritan. He was pronounced dead at the scene. State police said that the accident happened shortly before 1 a.m. A 44-year-old man from Chesapeake, Virginia, was driving with two other adults and a 7-year-old child when his SUV hit a deer and became disabled in the middle travel lane. Contreras saw the wreck from his pickup truck and pulled over into the breakdown lane to lend the family some assistance. While attempting to help the family, he was struck and killed by a 21-year-old Rockland man driving an Infiniti coupe. Investigators believe Contreras was walking in a travel lane when he was hit. The Rockland driver stayed at the scene after the crash. Neither he nor the family in the Audi suffered any apparent injuries. The crash remains under investigation. Also, Wareham Corps volunteers worked the Old Lopes Playground this weekend with the help from Onset Fire Department crews spreaded over 400 square feet of engineered wood fiber in the park. The fiber provides fall protection to help reduce the risk of injury compared to the softer pebbles that previously surrounded the playground. This is the latest improvement Wareham Corps volunteers will be making to the park this year. Over the past 2 months, the group, local organizations, and volunteers have also restored the pavilion, resurfaced the baseball diamond, sanded picnic tables, installed Minot Forest Elementary School swings, and removed debris and broken playground equipment. Volunteers have completed 90% of work and will complete improvements in the spring. Also, on Thursday morning, Walmart surprised Wareham store associate Sophia Kelly with the news that her recent act of kindness won the Walmart Associate Challenge. As a result, her favorite nonprofit, Papa's Pet Project, will receive a $10,000 grant from Walmart to help them with their mission to improve the lives of homeless animals in the community. The Walmart-wide challenge asked associates to share how they are sparking kindness in the communities using hashtag #SparkKindness and hashtag Walmart Associates Challenge. Sophia is one of only 12 winners across the country. She has worked at the Wareham Walmart store for 8 years, most recently as a claims supervisor. She loves animals and spends her spare time volunteering at animal shelters, including Papa's Pet Project. That is all for this morning news headlines, and coming up is what is happening out there. Well, welcome back. So I do not need to tell you that it is raining out there. I even had to change up my hairstyle to accommodate myself. Anyhow, periods of rain today, becoming windy in the afternoon, high at 48 degrees. We're looking to 20 to 30 miles per hour, which could occasionally gust over 40 miles per hour. Low tonight at 36 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, slight chance of rain shower, high at 48. A few clouds at night with low around 31 degrees. And that is all for today's and tomorrow's weather. Right now, we are going to take a look at our first featured program of the day, and that is Eagle Scout story of Douglas Santos, who completed his Eagle Scout project. Take a look. In honor of Veterans Day, a local Eagle Scout reveals his project. A gift of fellowship, a eulogy to retired American flags.
I selected to build this fire pit for the American Legion Hall for the veterans, and it benefits the veterans and the Boy Scouts, so we could have flag burning ceremonies.
Keep right on moving.
Yeah, once it starts, now. Ready? Just keep going.
Keep right on moving.
And
right in moving.
In.
Drop.
In.
Drop.
In.
Beautiful.
Good job, guys.
It's going to go up quick.
Adding to his fellow Eagle Scouts' idea of establishing flag boxes across town, the fire pit is a place to ceremoniously incinerate flags. So could you please tell us about the process of helping them to select a project and having it come to fruition as what we are witnessing here today?
Yeah, so a lot of times when the Scouts come to us with some ideas for some of their Eagle Scout projects, they'll work with someone from the committee or another one of the adult leaders to kind of coach and guide that Scout through the process. And once they come up with an idea, they'll actually bring that idea to the troop. So he had to come with some numbers, some cost estimates, some hours and the amount of time and the impact on the community that the project would actually have.
Now, could you tell us about, during this process, what are some vital skills that you learned that you feel you will continue taking them to other projects as you continue with the Eagle Scout, or just in your personal life?
Well, doing this Eagle Scout project, I have other kids in my troop that are going to be doing their Eagle project soon, and I feel like doing this I will be able to show and provide information that they might need to help with their Eagle project, because they're alike in a few different ways and they aren't in some others.
Now that the project is complete, paperwork still need to be submitted to the national level office before Dougie receives his Eagle Scout. So in the future, when people need to retire their flags, what will be the protocol?
There's numerous collection points around the town. There's some at the Department of Maintenance Department. There's boxes in the town hall, just like the one out front. And when the people's flags are no longer useful, they fold them up and throw them there. And then throughout the year, they have these procedures and ceremonies to decommission the flags.
Okay, and so this weekend, actually, on Saturday, excuse me, the YMCA was showcasing their youth basketball program that they are running at the Gleason YMCA of all types of ages. So I stopped by to learn more about that program. Take a look.
All day. Man, I've been going hard, trying to make it off the boulevard. Find a way for me and my squad. Mama always said I was a star. Yeah, I've been going hard, trying to make it off the boulevard. Find a way for me and my squad.
So this is the clinic. Could you explain what that is?
So we typically do YBL, which is our youth basketball league here at the Y. I came in last year in February in the middle of the league, and then our spring league kind of fell apart a little bit just because we have a lot of other leagues we're competing with. So we turned it more into a skills clinic, which was really popular. We also have a Thursday night clinic kind of working on those same skills. We brought it back this fall, same thing, but we also have now close to 30 people in each of our hour-long clinics. So we really are trying to work with those kids on, the fundamentals of basketball, but also, being a good person, and that's what we're focusing here because we're all about youth development here at the Y. So we're just kind of focused on building that basketball as a whole, also the individual as a whole.
Now, this particular clinic, it's a whole separate program. It's not part of the membership, the regular membership.
No, it's not. So we charge for the rookies right now. We have for 5 to 7-year-olds, we charge $50 for members and $100 for non-members, which is a 12-week program. So it's every Saturday for an hour. And then for the next clinic that starts at noon, we have 8 to 12-year-olds, and that really works on the same skills, just a little bit older. So we're kind of breaking it down a little bit more. And that's $100 for members and $150 for non-members. Again, it's a 12-week program every Saturday.
Now, what kind of kids are you looking for, and what about disabilities and so forth?
So right now, it's really anybody's welcome to come in, whether you're a seasoned player or you're just starting. A lot of the kids we have here, especially the rookies, they're new to basketball, so it's just working on those skills. And then for our older league, we have some kids who have played for a while, but we really want to still work on those skills because you're only going to get better working going forward. And then in our 12-year-old clinic, we also we have a student who has Down syndrome. He does really well with the clinic. He goes to high school, so he joins in that program, and he plays on the unified basketball team. So we're really open to anybody, and we can work with anybody on those skills too.
So are you looking to recruit more students, more kids?
Yes, so right now we really want to turn this into a league. In January, the second week of January, it'll start back up another 12-week. It'll go to March. We really were hoping to get a league going, which is what it used to be. That's what we're looking for right now. And if not, we're going to continue with this clinic. We have a clinic in December, actually, right after Christmas. It'll be a 3-day, 3-hour clinic a day, working on the same things with the same coaches, just working on those skills and helping those kids go forward with it.
And how would you present this to parents, especially those who are not into sports and they feel like their kids may not like it? How do you present the argument that they will get more than just learning how to play the game?
So here at the Y, like I said, we're all about youth development, so we don't really just focus on the skills of basketball, but we want those kids to have fun, and we also want those kids to, have some physical literacy, so they know how to stay healthy going forward, whether they stick with the sport or not. They're learning how to get that strength and conditioning training, but also, and you're working with a lot of other kids, so you got to work on how to get along with other people, and we're building that up, building up the individual as a whole, rather than just focusing on basketball, focusing on those skills. That's a big part of it, but it's also, we want those kids to become good people. So that's kind of my argument to come to the Y in general, not even just for basketball, but any program we have, we really want to focus on building up the child as a whole in youth development.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next plan better than my last plan. Culmination, it's the last stand. It's the Royal Rumble. Man, I've been going hard, trying to make it off the boulevard. Find a way for me and my squad.
Is it so important for kids to learn this game? What can they learn about basketball that they can take those skills to other ventures in their life?
You could potentially get a scholarship when you're older, and that could give you a full ride. It all depends. But me with basketball, that was like an escapism for me when I was younger. Going through problems and stuff like that. Like I would just go to the court, play basketball, and that would take away my worries and stuff like that. But it made a lot of friends too. I got to travel all around the East Coast and stuff like that. So that's what I feel like basketball presents.
All right, and now a story about dogs and veterans. This is Finding You Sanctuary. Take a look. Faced with the need and the passion to give back, a brother and sister merged their talents and took action. They founded Finding You Sanctuary, a nonprofit rescuing dogs to help support veterans living with post-traumatic stress.
The first thing I do is I help people connect with their dogs, and the dogs connect with their people. And once that they've done that, then I show them how to read their emotional state of mind, and how that, once that happens, you can change what you do, because change is inevitable, to change what we don't like to see. So after that, then we have the connection to our soul, which is what we all want, to feel at peace, to have joy again.
With decades of experience as a dog behavior specialist, Lynn has a unique method of working with misunderstood dogs. Through her success-proven method, a veteran with PTS can find common ground with a rescued dog.
Yes, I work with the dogs that are so misunderstood, and aggression is the biggest one. But dogs have a big reason for being aggressive. It's what we show them the way. And dogs follow as a pack member does. So the leader, which is usually the human, hopefully, when we have issues or things don't work out right, the way we treat them, nice, good, indifferent, dogs follow us and they learn from us. The biggest need that I found was that veterans with PTSD, their biggest issue is the trust and respect. They need us to respect them so that they can learn to trust and be with us. And their healing, I know, will begin if they can be with dogs that are almost like them. And that's how you pair them. Dogs will choose most of their owners if we allow that. And the ones that choose us, usually the ones that make us work the hardest to be with them because of their behavior. And aggression, fear, insecurities, it's a very big deal with both misunderstood dogs and veterans.
Finding You Sanctuary has two main objectives: reducing the rate of canine euthanasia and improve the coping skills of veterans within their new reality.
So in Massachusetts alone, there are 80,000 diagnosed cases of PTSD. There's several different types of emotional wounds or inner wounds. And then there's TBI, which is traumatic brain injury. And then there's MST, which is military sexual trauma, which most of us would be surprised to hear that 50% of those reported cases are actually male. So there's a lot of issues out there, and what Lynn is able to do, helping people and dogs have a deep connection, and then the dog mirrors the emotional state of the person.
The one thing I do see is that what animals are so capable of, and that's letting everything go, being in the moment. What I see with veterans is how amazingly strong they are, how amazingly giving they are, how they have probably the best understanding of camaraderie, how to work together, how to be in the community. They are amazing as far as giving. And for me, I don't know, I've just seen that veterans with PTSD is the biggest thing for me to watch, is to help them, help themselves by using animals. It's just my biggest thing, that's what I see.
Once funding is established, the barn will be transformed into a space that will foster the program in addition to housing rescue dogs.
And we have a multifold mission. One is if you care about dogs and wish to rescue them.
Help to work with that,
The other one is if you care about veterans and wish to give back to them, serve those who have served us. We also plan on eventually expanding into first responders and so on. And then there's those who believe that there's a connection that needs to be made with the community at large, because it's not just the veteran, it's also their family and friends, and all the people around them are affected by what they've done while they're in service and
when
after
they come
that
back.
point.
Yeah.
So there's three right there. And then the other one is just an overall connection, person to person, animal or person to nature, and the dog is that connection and the way through to that, and that's what Lynn is special about, helping people find that connection.
For more information about Finding You Sanctuary, please visit them online to find out how you can help veterans earn peace at home. Thank you for being with us this morning, and now we are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue with more.
Today's cell phones are not only an extension of our arms, but a life tool. Hello, I am Maureen Farrington from Advantage Custom Apps. I am here today to talk about a certain app, a tool that will help you navigate your way through the Wareham community. The WCTV app places your local community in the palm of your hand. The app is a place where you will find local events, town meetings, local and school sports, community interest stories, compelling interviews, and most of all, the ability to shop local. Connect to the Wareham app by going to your web browser and typing in wctv.app. And then, once you bring up the web link, you have the opportunity of adding WCTV's app to your home screen. Once you download the app and save it to your home screen, you will then have the opportunity to, with the touch of a finger, hit the call button, which we call WCTV, the refer us button. You can refer the app to your friends and families. There's a Facebook share button if you'd like to put that on your Facebook page as well. And here is the menu tab. On the menu tab, we have YouTube videos, new program proposal, events that WCTV is hosting, a photo gallery, contact button, and can lead you right to their website. We also have a Shop Local tab. When you touch on that, you'll see the local businesses that you can frequent. Also, there's an About Us tab telling you some information about WCTV, their hours and directions. This here will take you right to their Facebook page. There is a donate button if you would like to donate to WCTV, and a join button that will let you join their community. Many local establishments are listing their business on the WCTV app. And you can too. It's a great way to showcase your business to your existing customers and your potential new ones. For a nominal fee, you could list your business on the Shop Local tab as well. A percentage of that fee goes to fund a scholarship for an outgoing senior. So be in the now and get the WCTV app on your home screen.
Well, on this day in speech history, Abraham Lincoln began his travel to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania in 1863. A battle had taken place there months earlier in July, and Lincoln gave a short speech to dedicate a cemetery to the soldiers who died there in the battle. This would be, of course, become known later as the Gettysburg Address. Also today in time history, American and Canadian railroads created the first time zones in 1883. With the large continent of North America now connected by these railways, dealing with thousands of separate local times became difficult to schedule around. In order for the high-speed trains to be effective, a standardized time would have to be made. Our continent was split up into 4 time zones: Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific, the model that we still have today. Also, today in cult history, a massive group suicide occurred in 1978. The People Temple cult, founded by Jim Jones, had garnered hundreds of followers. He and his people went to the South American nation Guyana to set up a small colony called Jonestown. While the leader had promised a utopia, Jones had declining mental health and an addiction to drugs. Those living in the colony were forced to work long, hard hours if they even questioned Jones' authority. Believing that the United States government was out to kill them, Jim Jones ordered that his disciples take their destiny into their own hands. The poisonous substance cyanide was mixed with gallons of Kool-Aid and consumed by the people of Jonestown. When officials from Guyana went to the colony the next day, they discovered over 900 men and women and even children, all dead. In today's history birthday shout out goes to, we recognize someone who is courageous, who courageously helped other Americans. Excuse my pronunciation, but Sojourner Truth was born on this day in 1787 in New York. Truth was an abolitionist and fought for women's rights. She lived to the ripe old age of 96 years old. And that is all for this Day in History segment. To learn more cool historical facts, you can go online under history.com. The coffee segment is next, but first, let's take a look at my questions with Ben Franklin. So are you as tall as the original guy?
Ben Franklin was 6 foot tall, believe it or not. And he was 240 pounds. I'm 6 foot tall, and I'm pounds.
So you look like him. So tell me, what came first? You coming out of your mom's womb saying, I have the face, so I might as well, get the clothes and do the gig, or what?
The or what is, I am him. Because what keeps me alive is I believe that there's a spirit of Ben Franklin in each and every one of us, and that's what keeps me alive.
And what is that spirit?
The spirit of patriotism, freedom, democracy, the country, you and I, and everyone around us in our country.
So tell me about the funny story. You're telling me before we roll the cameras how you got started performing. Could you tell us that story?
You really want to hear it? I actually got tricked into doing it. Oh. I had a friend of mine who said, did anybody ever tell you you look like Ben Franklin? And I never heard that. I said, no, not at all. So he said I was going to this event, and he had this costume with him. And I said, you're not going to ask me to wear this, because yes, I am. He goes, please do it for me. 400 people. So I'm putting this costume on, and the hair, this is my real hair now. And I walk in there, and everyone's this jerk of a guy, he's calling me Ben, and then 400 people are calling me Ben. Pictures, Miss Pennsylvania was there. And after that, he said, I told you. And I said, okay, I'm done. A week later, the same bank called and says, we'd like to have your Ben do a ribbon cutting to our bank. And I said, you know what, I could do this.
So what has been the most fulfilling part to play such a significant man?
Well, the more I learned about Ben, he did everything for the common good. Not one thing was for himself. Not one invention, not one institution, nothing. The first hospital he started, the first lending library, the first volunteer fire department. This man was a giving man. And that is really an amazing thing, and I want to continue telling that to people, that he wasn't a philanderer or not, and he was there for everyone else, nothing for himself.
So this morning you got to speak to the high school kids here at Wareham High School. What was your key message?
Again, I mentioned that everything in my life was for the common good. It was for helping others. So we are all together, and also fighting for our freedom, democracy, just the non-selfishness of this man, and I make people think, well, people think they do inventions for themselves. No, he did not. Not one thing was for himself. Well, there was one thing, and that were these. He did not know he was inventing them, but he actually made them because he was tired of wearing two pairs of glasses, couldn't see near nor far. So he made these weird pair of glasses for one reason, so he can see what he was eating and who he was eating with at the same time. But everything else was and he never patented anything, never asked for money for anything.
So when you started doing your research, getting acquainted with this character, this man you're impersonating, tell me, you spoke about the findings, that how generous he was, but what are some other cool things that stuck up to you that you're like, oh, I didn't know that about him?
Good question. I didn't know he helped start the first hospital. That's one thing. And, we know he did the discovery, or not the discovery, but he discovered electricity, which helped him invent the lightning rod, and that also saved lives. That's what made him very popular, believe it or not. And I know I'm probably not answering your question, but just his generosity to the public is really what changed my thought about just him as a statesman or an inventor for himself, or trying to be rich by himself. Not many people know this, but he also is still giving today. In his will, he gave money to Boston and money to Philadelphia, not to be touched for 200 years. Did you know that?
No.
It grew to over $7 million. That money's still being used today for the common good. And he didn't even write about it, and no one knows about it. And I'm telling that story tonight. And if you look up on your Google or your device, you will see how much money it grew and what it was used for.
In fact, I opened up 1,500 miles of postal routes to help speed up the delivery of the post. But I did not own a horse or a carriage. I had to hire a driver.
So tell me how playing this character has changed your life, your personal life, or influenced your personal life.
It made me a better person, I must tell you that. Okay. It did. Because not only did I go in depth with Ben Franklin, I also went in depth the other rabbit holes, such as Washington and what his sacrifices were, and Adams. But then I want to talk about the founding mothers. Not many people talk about that. You got Abigail Adams. She was there helping, holding the farm down and taking care of the children while Adams was off in France and helping in Philadelphia. And then you have my wife, Deborah Reed, who was also a founding mother. You have Martha Washington. These are unsung heroes. They were heroes as well.
Well, thank you so much. So any funny stories today you're going to share as well?
I will say this. I know I'm known to have said, a penny saved is a penny earned, but if I was to say it today, I would have said a penny saved is a government oversight.
Thank you so much. welcome back, and thank you for joining us this morning for another episode of Good Morning Wareham. Now it is the coffee segment, and my live guest this morning is Marie Oliver. She is the president and CEO for Cape Cod Canal Regional Chamber of Commerce. She's in the studio this morning to talk about business in the region, what the organization is trying to do to help local businesses thrive, and she's also going to give us some insight of our own little region here in Wareham. What is good, what is bad, and how we can work together to revive the area together. Welcome.
Great. Welcome to you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for being here.
On a rainy Monday morning, but it's okay. It's all right. It's the beginning of the work week. It's going to be a good week.
Yes. So speaking of a good week, what is a good time for local businesses, especially in our region?
Well, you know, during the peak season is generally, you know, from May through October. And then, of course, you know, the winter comes and it's not a peak season, but we have many year-round businesses, especially in Wareham.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the chamber covers Bourne, Sandwich, Wareham area, and we're a regional chamber, and then we have up to 600 business members that join the Chamber of Commerce, so we can help them thrive, help them with financial planning if they need it. We help businesses do everything, you know, whether they want to go to SCORE or the Small Business Administration. We have counseling that is done from the Small Business Administration that'll come to the Chamber office and meet with people who want to go into business.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of investors who try to come in into the area, and there is that casino that they were thinking about up in Wareham, and I know that has to go through the legislature, so they have to really jump through a lot of hoops in order to get that going. So that's one of the major things that have been brought up. Whether you support it or not, it's something that I'm not sure is going to fly in the legislature.
Okay.
Yeah.
So could we talk about the organization itself, why it was formed, and also specific those duties that you do, how you help local businesses?
Sure. Well, it was formed in 1978, so we've been in business since then. And it was actually the Greater Bourne Sandwich Chamber, and then we added Wareham to that, because it's contiguous right to Buzzards Bay. It's a stone's throw away from where we are. So when it comes to economic development, transportation initiatives, trying to work on commuter rail coming into the community, that's a big deal to come into into Wareham, into Buzzards Bay. And they're thinking that that might happen in 2022. But of course, that's been going on for over a decade. Things work slowly at the state level. And the problem with the state is that they don't have a lot of money for transportation because of the MBTA. So we want to be able to have the trains come down to the Buzzards Bay train station and at the train station in Wareham. So that's something that we work on in the legislature. And then we help with the community if there's some zoning issues that affect businesses in the area. And we also work with the community, of course, but we get involved with that as well.
So when you say working with the community, do you provide what kind of
information? We provide information on articles at town meeting that come up that will affect businesses. We provide all kinds of information so that they know who we are, what we do, what we can do to service them, how can they become more successful, how can we look at them as, because nothing's monolithic. I mean, businesses in the area, everyone's different. Everyone has a different issue. And I know on Main Street, Wareham, it's tough because downtown areas are really throughout the country a difficult thing to continue, because a lot of people, you know, sometimes don't shop on Main Street, and we try to promote shop local, especially during the month of November. Instead of going to the, you know, the big name stores or the malls, just shop local. Like Echo is in Wareham, right across from the Tremont Nail Factory, and that's a great gift shop to go to. And there's Gallery Consignment on Main Street, and I'm sure I'm missing some businesses on Main Street, but those are the two that I just thought of.
Okay, so it is a problem that is not just happening in our little community here, but it is throughout the entire nation that the problem.
Yes, it's a common thing from
Okay.
downtown areas. Like we're trying to revitalize Main Street, Buzzards Bay, and some businesses have moved in there, and we work with investors that come into the area.
It is growing a lot.
It is growing. It happens to be growing a lot. It was many years, but what happened is that the town of Bourne went down and condemned certain buildings on Main Street that were uninhabitable because they were sitting there as eyesores. The landlords weren't doing the right thing, but now the property owners are doing the right thing and they are renovating, and I think that makes a big difference. For example, if there are uninhabited buildings in the town of Wareham, if the town condemned those buildings, the landlord has to do something about it instead of just leaving it, you know. So they're condemned because it's a public safety problem. So that happened. 3 buildings were demolished on Main Street, and now there's been revitalization since then. So that kind of was the impetus that started the whole thing.
So you talked about the train, the MBTA. How would that help us?
Well, commuter train helps you because you're getting cars off the road, and with the bridges and everything, and we've been dealing with replacing the bridges, and that's a huge impact, and it certainly would impact Wareham also, because many people from Wareham have to commute to and from over those bridges. So those bridges we've never gotten as far as what we've gotten, and there's a coalition of about 25 people throughout the area, including the town of Wareham, that sit on committees and work on projects, work on this issue with the Corps of Engineers that own the bridges, and the state actually owns the Bourne Bridge approaches to the bridges. So it's something that would impact Wareham as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you talked about businesses and helping them, providing them information. What type of businesses are you working with?
We work with all types of businesses. We work with in the tourism businesses. We have a professional CPA, insurance, attorneys, things of that nature. So we work with all kinds of businesses across the gamut. We must have at least 30 different business categories of businesses that we deal with from all walks of life. It can be a hospital, it can be a mom and pop store, it can be the Stone Path Malt, which I like to go to and have beer and oysters.
Absolutely.
That was a new business, and we help them quite a bit. We had our events over there. We heavily promote businesses in the area, and we promote the business area through a visitor guide that we have that covers the general area, and we print 30,000 of those, and those go everywhere. We advertise for businesses to come into the town of Wareham, and that's something that we've worked on for many years.
Now, do the businesses have to, how do they join in? Their fee?
There's
How
a fee
does it
to
work?
join,
Okay.
so there's 3 different fees. You can join at the base level of $350 a year, and you get a year's worth of service from the chamber, so it's a really good investment. We actually track all the referrals that we give people, so we have a report which shows we give thousands of referrals to businesses that are members of the chamber. People call up left and right. They stop in. Where can we go? Where can we go get a good fish restaurant? Where can we get something, a full dinner to eat? Where can we? What hotel can we stay at? Where can I get my hair and nails done? Of course, I had to mention that.
Yeah.
And construction contractors. People want to know what's a good roofer, or so it just runs. And the gamut. People call us all the time, and they stop in. We run 2 visitor centers. We have one in Buzzards Bay, and we have one at the base of the Sagamore Bridge. So we give about 35,000 referrals every year to businesses. We track them all. We write down where people are coming from by putting down their zip code, so we know where they're coming from. And then the referrals that we give them for coming into the area, we track that as well. So they're not anecdotal numbers. They're numbers that are real, that we deal with people coming into the area. And look, you got beautiful beaches here, you got golf, you've got accommodations down in Onset, you got the new Glen Cove Hotel there, that's beautiful. So there is a lot of revitalization going down in the area of Onset as well.
So for a new business or even an older business, what is the difference of letting somebody go online? Our entire lives right now is on our little tablets. You can go online, you can Google local restaurant.
Right,
local
you
this.
can. That's a good point.
Yeah. So how do you tell them, or like what are the extra benefits they
What
get?
are the extra benefits? Because we say to them, people want to know about a particular place, and they want a referral from the chamber because it validates the business when they belong to a chamber of commerce. So they want to know from us. Is it good, number one? Is it fun to go to? Like, we refer people all the time throughout the Cape and southeastern Massachusetts for all types of inquiries that we might have. So it's just across the gamut. I really believe that the Chamber helps small businesses. Most of the businesses that we have are small businesses, 50 or under, okay? And it's more than giving them information. It's promoting them on our e-blasts that we send out to over 1,500 people on a weekly basis. We promote all the events that businesses have, that they might have. Like during the holidays, they might have a wine and cheese get together for businesses to come in. So we will promote that for them as well.
So you're almost like the PR for local businesses.
We are in the public relations business, okay, and we promote heavily all the businesses that we have as members.
Okay.
You know, and like I said, it could be professional, could be tourism related, could be all kinds of businesses that join the chamber.
You talked about validation. How do you validate a business?
Well, we have an actual benefits package for each tier of membership that we have. So you can join us for $350 a year, $500 a year, or $750 a year, and you get specificity in terms of what type of benefits you get for each tier that you join us at. So you might get free tickets to the annual dinner. You'll get a free advertisements in our newsletter, and each one has a different category of benefits that you have when you join the Chamber of Commerce. The benefits are innumerable. There's probably at least 20 different benefits that you can get from joining the Chamber of Commerce.
So you only work with good businesses. You don't.
Well, this is it's a good question. If a business joins the chamber, we usually look at that. We want it to be a good business. We don't want to give referrals to a business that isn't doing the right thing. If the business isn't doing the right thing, I will contact them and let them know, maybe we've gotten a complaint. Can you try to help this customer out? Please work hard to make sure that your business is run properly. So we will do that as well.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So tell me about the actually when we met, there was, is that the annual meeting? That was that
That was the Bridge Awards.
Bridge Awards,
that
okay.
we had for different people that we have different categories in awards for people that do community benefit as well as being a good business, being a good employer, giving back. If employers give back to the community, that means, do they donate on nonprofit organizations or for schools, things of that nature? We actually have a big event at the another event called Meet Me at the Tremont that we've had for several years, and we give scholarships to Wareham students. So we were able to raise $5,000 this year to give to the Upper Cape Regional Tech School for a Wareham student and for the Wareham High School. So we also do a lot of community work. It isn't just business, because we want to work well with the residential community as well. We want business and community and residents to gel and work together. So we generally look at businesses that want to join us in a way that will help the community as well.
Okay. Now, your organization is as good as the community you represent. Could you talk about the challenges communities face?
Sure. Well, the challenges are we have to raise several $100,000 every year to stay in business in order to provide the benefits that we're providing. So if you want to raise $5,000 for scholarships, we've got to have a fundraiser for that. We have to have a fundraiser to provide all the small business administration and making sure that businesses are paying their dues on time. And so we have a database that, a $30,000 database that works to, what am I trying to say? that we have that for every member that we have. We individually look at each member and try to work with them, and we call them. We have ambassadors to the chamber that are volunteers, and we contact the members throughout the year. So we're staying in contact with them. What's up? What keeps you up at night? How can we do to help? And we personally contact them to do that.
Okay. Any other challenges that you feel it's going to take an act of legislation?
Well, commuter rail, the bridges.
Well, they're fixing them now.
Right, they're fixing. I know. We don't want them to close down in any way for any short period of time. But those are two big ones that we're working on in terms of economic development. Economic development is a term to help businesses stay healthy and to bring new businesses into the area. So if an investor comes in and wants to invest in the town of Wareham, I'll let them know of all the benefits that the town has to offer, and then they make a decision whether they come into the town or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they listen. Wow. So
They'll stop in.
Yeah.
Or I'll reach out if I hear someone is, and if I know, I will reach out to them as well.
So what are some benefits that investors will benefit
Well,
from?
what I try to say to investors that are coming in is, what is your niche and what is your market, and then I can better tell you how well the community can help you as well. And we also try to help out with the town. For example, if they have to go to the selectman for a permit, or they have to go to the building inspector for a permit, or the zoning needs to be changed, or maybe they have to go to the planning board. We try to help those businesses as well.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Now, are you looking for more businesses?
Always,
Okay.
always. We're always looking for more members.
All right.
Because we want to be a strong chamber. We're a regional chamber. Like I mentioned, we have about 600 business members throughout the area. And when I say regional, because whatever we do, customers come from everywhere. They come from the region, they come from an hour away. So when we give referrals, we always say to people who are looking for something, look, this is a good place to go here. And we're constantly making referrals to the Wareham area.
Very nice.
Yeah, Lindsay's Restaurant's a big one.
It is. Yes, it is.
We just had an event there the other night, and it was wonderful. We provide networking events for everybody once a month for our business members. So we get together and we bring everybody in to meet each other, and we give door prizes, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of communication, and we do a lot in the Wareham area.
Any upcoming events or fundraisers?
We have Thursday, December 12th, we're doing Toys for Tots at Alden Park. We're doing that in conjunction with the Plymouth Area Chamber. A lot of chambers work together to do different events. We have about 35 events that we do in the course of a year. We do, like I said, networking. We do workshops for people. For example, on December 5th, we have a workshop in Wareham at Cape Cod 5 to learn about LinkedIn and how can you, like a lot of people they're on LinkedIn, but they don't use it.
Yeah.
So how can we help? How can we help you with social media? How can we help you with your website? How can we help you with marketing your business? So we do a lot of workshops, business-related workshops that give technical information for businesses as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for
You're
being
welcome.
here.
I appreciate you asking me on. I'll come back anytime.
Absolutely.
I enjoy it.
Is there anything you'd like to add that I didn't ask?
No, I just want to say Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Oh,
Happy
my God,
Thanksgiving.
yes. Next week. Thank you. Well, to our viewers, thank you so much for joining us this morning for another episode of Good Morning Wareham. My guest was Marie Oliver. She is the president and CEO for Cape Cod Canal Regional Chamber of Commerce. If you have any questions, if you'd like to join, you can reach out
Contact us
to
at
them.
CapeCodCanalChamber.org.
You see, very simple. Very simple. Anyhow, if you missed us this morning, you can get this particular episode tonight at 6 p.m. and it will also go on our YouTube channel at Wareham Community Television on YouTube. I'll be back here on Wednesday with more. So thank you, Wareham, and have a pleasant day. Bye.